So I just got done reading Spider-Man 2, issue 1, and yeah, this book is probably the reason why I've decided to stay away from Marvel. Uh, for those of you who don't know, I used to be a big-time comic book fan back as a kid. Back when I was like 10, 11, 12, I used to pick up every issue that I possibly can. Uh, Usually I was big into Marvel. Not that I had anything against DC, but my favorite heroes were on Marvel's team. So Marvel was the company that I mostly focused on. Now, almost 2 decades later, I've actually switched. I've now started reading everything DC. Pretty much stayed clear of everything Marvel except for a few issues here and there. Mostly Gwenpool. I'll pick up anything with Gwenpool in it. Speaking of which, I'll do a review on the Edge of the Venomverse 2 with Gwenpool. But I decided, you know what? I saw this issue and I thought this might be pretty good. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about Miles Morales. I don't know too much about the character, but from what I've heard, like a lot of people seem to like him. This is going to be pretty fun, right? Yeah, not so much. So the writer is Bendis, who, again, I'm coming into this for, I'm coming into comic books after being away for so long. And as a kid, I never paid attention to the writers or artists or anything like that. So, I mean, I might have read stuff from Bendis, without even knowing. But everything I've heard about this guy is just not great. Like, basically, he is just completely SJW, just wants to turn characters into diversity just for diversity's sake, just to score, brownie points. That he's one of the biggest reasons Marvel is the comics division, anyways, is failing the way it has been. That he's like completely anti-white. One of those, if you disagree with me, you're a homophobe, you're a racist, you're a whatever. So I thought, okay, that's not a good sign. But I haven't confirmed any of this myself. This is just all stuff that I've heard, and I don't want to judge someone based off hearsay. I want to, I'll pick up a book. If someone says that this guy is, literally Hitler, I mean, I'm like, all right, let me actually see what he has to say, and I'll judge for myself. So I decided I'll give Bendis a chance. I'll pick up Spider-Man 2, issue 1, see how it is. Maybe people are wrong about him. We start off in medias res, in the middle of things. We have Miles and Peter Parker hanging upside down, strapped together over a raging fire caused by an airplane crash. And I thought, okay, you know what? So far, so good. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Despite the writing for this book, the art is really well done. I love the illustrations. The coloring is really good as well. It's not like the recent She-Hulk or like America Chavez. Oh boy, is that series a mess. But yeah, the art's really good. So I thought, okay, so far so good. I'm interested. I want to see how they got into this situation. They are after someone or something that's on a plane. I'm kind of interested to see, okay, who is it that they're after, or what is it that they're after, and why is it on a plane? So far so good. So they're stuck. Plane's disappearing. Peter Parker asks if Miles has some kind of super secret spider powers that Parker doesn't know about. Miles says he does. He has this thing called a Mega Venom Blast, but he doesn't really know how it works. But Parker's like, never mind, just use it, get us out of here. So Miles uses it, blows off their restraints. They both fall down. Of course, Peter Parker has to fall on his back while Miles lands on his feet because, whatever. I guess Miles is better than Peter. You know what? This is, maybe I'm just nitpicking, but this is it's something I've heard a lot about Peter Parker lately, is that he is just very incompetent. Like, the writers have no idea how to write a good Peter Parker. You know what? I'll get to that a little bit later. So Miles chases after the plane while Peter just, I don't know, chills because he can't go after the plane for who knows what reason. I mean, yeah, he landed on his back and stuff, but I mean, here we see him crawling on his feet again, so whatever, okay. So I guess they are after this. Are they after this woman right here in the hood? I have no idea who she is. Miles shoots a string of web on the plane and it gets burnt, which kind of just begs the question. You could have launched a a web string at any part of the plane, and I mean this is like a giant plane. This isn't one of those little, private one propeller planes. This is actually a jet. Why are you going to shoot one right above the turbine engine? Like, you can shoot it any other part of the wing, any part of the plane body, but you shoot it at the one spot that your web, which is flammable, is going to get burned. Whatever. They get away. Miles, apologizes. Peter says it's okay. I had more than one opportunity to get you to stop being Spider-Man, and I didn't do it, even after I found out who you really were. So Peter Parker is just a giant dick. And not just at this part, but throughout this whole comic, this whole issue, you'll find out that Parker is just an absolute a-hole to Miles for reasons I have no idea. Like I said, I'm getting into this after being away for so long. I have no idea about the Miles character. I've heard of him, and I've heard nothing but good things about him. That he's a really well-written character. That he's not just... I mean, a lot of people are praising him, mostly because he's Latino, I guess. Even though he looks more black than anything else. But whatever. But a lot of people say, no, he's actually good. He's not just a diversity for diversity's sake. He's actually really well written. Like, he has his faults. He has an actual personality, an actual character. Something that a lot of SJW Marvel... something that current SJW Marvel seems to not understand, that it's okay to have a gay character as long as they are more than just that. Like, you look at Iceman, who is gay, and it's like, okay, well, what else? What else is his character? What's his personality? Oh, he's gay. Okay, I get that, but what's his personality? He's gay. It's like, that's not a character. That's not a personality. That's something that SJW Marvel seems to not understand, is that you can have a gay character, you can have a Latino character, a black character, an Asian, as long as they're more than just that. They have to actually have a personality, have faults, have goals, have strengths and weaknesses. Just saying, oh, hey, look at this new character. He's a gay Asian. Applaud us. It's like, no, he has to be more than just that. Like, one of my favorite characters of all time is John Constantine, who's bisexual, but like, bisexual is just part of his character. That's not who he is. You don't say, oh, who's John Constantine? Oh, he's bisexual. Yeah, but what's his character? It's like, he actually has a character. So I'm kind of rambling, but basically what I'm trying to say is I've heard nothing but praise about Miles Morales from both sides, both people who like him because of the fact that he's just Latino, and then other people who like him because he's actually a really well done character. So far, he's okay. I have no problems with him as of this part right here. Peter Parker, on the other hand, just comes across like a total dick. You have no business being Spider-Man. None of this should have happened. It's like, okay. Then again, maybe Peter's being a little too hard on him, because like I said, this is in the middle of things. Like, we didn't see the build up to this, so maybe Miles Morales has just like completely been screwing up left and right. In which case, then Peter Parker is in the right. But because we haven't seen that yet, we basically just Peter Parker comes across like a total dick. So yeah, as I said, Brian Michael Bendis is a writer. Sara Pichelli is the artist. She's actually, I think, doing a really good job. Like I said, I think the art is really good in this. Justin Ponsor is the color artist. Like I said, he's also done really well too. So then we have Miles Morales at school. He's late, but he has an excuse, and apparently he's like a straight A student or whatever. Which is another thing that I've noticed from Marvel, is that all their diversity characters have to be super smart. Which, I mean, you have like Riri is super smart, Moon Girl is super smart, Miles here is like really intelligent. Like, everyone is a genius, and I'm just like, why does everyone have to be like? Why do all your diverse characters have to have like no flaws whatsoever? Like, that's not good writing. But whatever. So we go to the next page, and no joke, here's what it actually says. This right here. This is everything that is wrong with me, Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man. And you know what? I can't help but agree. I have no idea what it is with Marvel absolutely just shitting all over Spider-Man, specifically Peter Parker. You have Chip Zdarsky, I can't say his name, writing the new Peter Parker series, which is absolutely terrible. Basically, no one seems to know how to write Peter Parker. Like I said, you have Chip who writes him like a stand-up comic where he's just constantly throwing out jokes left and right, but they're not good jokes. Like I don't even want to say stand-up comic. It's more like he's the kind of guy that just like shows up at an open mic and just starts spewing, dad jokes, but not even the good dad jokes that you kind of giggle at, but just like terrible jokes that you're just kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Get off the stage. So we got that version of Peter Parker. So then you have Dan Slott, who's writing Tony Stark version of Spider-Man. Basically, Peter Parker owns a multi-million-dollar business, but in that issue, he can't do anything on his own. Like, he is constantly being saved and undermined by other characters, specifically women characters. Like, Spider-Man can't do anything on his own, but Mockingbird like comes in and just wrecks shop. I'm just like, really, Mockingbird? And now you have Bendis, who has just gone completely emo Spider-Man, which you'll see in a moment. I mean, this Peter Parker in this issue is more emo than Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. It's so bad, and I'm just like, this isn't Peter Parker. What are you guys doing? I know I've been away from comics for like 2 decades now, but come on, man. Even I can write a better Peter Parker than this and be more faithful to the character. I mean, look at this. The fact that I'm here doing this, being punched in the face by a guy dressed as a giant armadillo, instead of dealing with literally any of my real life problems, is everything that's wrong with me. So yeah, he starts fighting this giant armadillo and he makes some jokes about it. Not really good one. The armadillo apparently seems to be able to not say anything but curse words. I'm guessing because everything's just kind of like has this little censor thing. And then he says, if we're being honest, I can't even make fun of this armadillo dude. But I guarantee if you compared the quality of his life against the quality of mine right now, he would come out the winner. Giant armadillo costume and all. Really? Really? So this giant armadillo has a better life than you do, Peter Parker? Like, what? What is going on? Why is Parker just completely shitting on his life? Why is he so emo? Like, is this what happened to Peter Parker since I've been gone? Like, has he just like completely like just gone all emo? I thought the whole portion of Spider-Man 3 where he had the Venom and I thought that was just kind of like a gag. I mean that's a meme for a reason. That's not because that's how Peter Parker really is, but apparently that's how he is according to Bendis. I mean, Miles Morales can do no wrong. Meanwhile, Peter Parker is just shitting on his life and how terrible his life is and how, anything is better than this. It's just, all right, whatever. Okay. So he stops the armadillo and sees this giant light hurricane. I don't know what to describe that. So, okay, let's start over. Let me tell you everything that's wrong with Peter Parker. Who is that? Yeah. You know what? I don't care. I don't want to know everything that's wrong with you, Peter. All right, so then we got Miles back at school, hanging out with his buddy. I have no idea what his name is. So I guess he's checking out this girl named Barbara. Quick question. I thought Miles Morales was gay. That's like the thing that I don't know anything really about Miles. I've seen nothing but articles about praising him that he's the new Latino homosexual Spider-Man. Maybe they got that wrong. Like that was always the impression that I got, which again I have no problem with if he's actually well written. Like if he's actually has a character and a personality, he can be gay all he wants. I doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I'm just pointing this out because that was the impression that I got going into this. But I mean, he's totally checking out this girl, so I'm assuming that he's not. So yeah, girl comes over, they start talking, a little banter back and forth. So yeah, the dialogue is not the greatest, but it's not too bad. And then all of a sudden, this giant spaceship crashes. One of the guys is like, the Miles' friend is like, what is it? And one of the guys is like, it's Iron Man. It's like, dude, really? It's a giant ball. How the hell is that Iron Man? They look up and they see the light tornado as well. And then of course Miles disappears. Uh, and he is like not even subtle about it. I mean, he pulls up the hood, gives her this like stare. It's like, okay. I mean, obviously now she knows something's going on. And then we get Spider-Man and Miles Morales meeting. It's Peter Parker. First conversation with Miles is, "Far out, the Spider-Man." Yeah, you say that every time. I don't get the reference. Some of them are just for me. I don't know. Is that some kind of reference I'm missing? And I guess they have met each other before, even though the issue is supposed to be that this is the first time that they're meeting. I don't know. Whatever. And then we get Peter Parker. "You didn't have anything to do with this, did you?" "Hell no. Asking for a friend. A piece of flaming robot went flying out of it and crashed into the lawn of my school." I hate when that happens. I'm like, okay. And here we go. We get some sort of explanation for how the two are together. So, do you remember this place? "You mean, do I remember that this crazy rundown warehouse used to house a small dimensional rift into another version of Earth? So one of my all-time worst villains, Mysterio, found it and used it to sneak in and out of your dimension when you used to live in another dimension instead of living in my dimension, which is, yes, not my dimension, but all of our dimensions." Really? I don't know. This almost seems like it's kind of like a knock on current Marvel fans who prefer the classic heroes over the new and improved, I put those in quotes, characters. Like, like these, like Marvel isn't just for you guys anymore. Marvel's for all of us. So, here, have fun with our diverse characters. I don't know. It's just, this is my dimension. Well, actually, it's not my dimension. It's all of our dimension. It's like, come on, man. What the hell? I don't know. It's very, but now we both live in the same dimension and we're both Spider-Man. I'm totally okay with it. Really? Whatever. Okay, let's just keep going. So they enter the warehouse. "Hey, who knew this thing was here anymore? And who is using it now? And why are giant flaming robot parts flying out of it?" All good questions. Also, this building is going to collapse. I thought that was kind of okay. I mean, it wasn't like laugh out loud funny, but also this building's going to collapse. It was kind of, it was an okay piece of dialogue. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. But then we got to just keep going. It looks like this like dimensional rift, I'm guessing, or whatever, is coming out of this robot part. So Spider-Man Peter Parker tells Miles to basically, beat it and that, go back to school. I'll take care of this. And then out of the rift comes one of the scariest human beings on planet Earth just showed up. "Spider-Man, may I introduce you to the Taskmaster. He's about to kill us both." Damn right. "So I hope you have another spider person waiting in the wings somewhere." Really? Like, has Peter Parker just like completely given up on life and stuff? I mean, so in this issue so far, we've seen Peter Parker be a total asshole, B, completely emo, and C, as soon as the villain shows up, he's just like, "Well, we're screwed. We're gonna die." Meanwhile, Miles is competent. He's a genius. He has witty banter with, the ladies. I don't know. It's just like, let's take all the cons of a character and put them on Peter, and take all the pros of a character and put them on Miles, just so we can prop Miles up. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this issue is just, let's use Peter Parker to prop Miles up and make him so much better than Peter Parker, so that people won't want Peter Parker anymore and they would want Miles. Maybe I'm just looking too much into this. That's kind of the impression that I'm getting. But whatever. I mean, like I said so far, I actually don't have a problem with Miles. He's okay. I do have an issue with how they're writing Peter Parker, though. He's just terrible. I did wish Miles had some kind of faults. So far, we haven't really seen any, other than the fact that, other than shooting a piece of web into a turbine engine, he hasn't really done anything else that's negative, which is kind of funny because he's young, he's in school, so you would think he would be inexperienced, and that inexperience will get them into trouble. But whatever. So yeah, so it looks like the Taskmaster is going to be the either the main villain or at least the next villain that they're going to fight. And he looks like he's pulling off the Assassin's Creed look. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. All right. So then we show up at this mansion where we have this guy with a bunch of scars show up. I promised myself so many years ago, but damn it. Looks like I'm heading back to New York. I guess, yeah, this is Mr. Morales. So I guess this is Miles Morales in this universe. Like, it took me a while to figure this out, but I had to look it up. So apparently this universe is the 616. And this is 616 Miles Morales. And the Miles Morales in the Spider-Man suit that we saw earlier is 1610. That's the universe that he's from. And apparently now 616 and 1610 share the same universe. Like I think the story was was it in Marvel Infinite? I think it was Marvel Infinite, if I remember correctly. This is just, like I said, this is just from what I've been reading to try to like catch up on all this. I guess there was some kind of battle or something, I don't know, but the 1610 universe like got destroyed, and some of the characters from that universe ended up in the 616 universe. So this is 616 Miles Morales. So yeah, then we got the letters to the editors, which isn't really a letter at all. Usually the letters from the editors is like people asking questions about issues or characters, and then the editors will like answer them. But this is basically just the editor Nick Lowe just talking up the issue. We didn't want Miles to be outdone by Peter's 2 books, so the fine folks at Disney Publishing Worldwide worked with us on something very special. So yeah, it looks like they're going to be writing a Miles Morales Spider-Man novel by Jason Reynolds. I have no idea who Jason Reynolds is. I actually looked him up, and it looks like all he's done is like young adult novels. So he's basically a YA author, which again is something that Marvel has been having a terrible track record of doing, where they just hire people who have like no idea about the subject matter that they're writing about. Like they'll hire people who have, like, it seems like they've never picked up a comic book in their life. But yeah, so I don't want to rag on Jason Reynolds because he might be good, who knows. But just from what I've seen, like, he's done nothing but young adult novels. So yeah, that was the first issue of Spider-Man 2, and basically that issue is everything that's wrong with SJW Spider-Man. You have Peter Parker, who's not Peter Parker at all. The whole issue just seems to be propping up Miles Morales. But yeah, as for the writing, I'm not. This is not making me a fan of Bendis. The dialogue is just pretty terrible, very out of character, at least on Peter Parker's part. Nothing about it is witty. Everything about this issue is just pretty bad. In terms of the writing, like I said, the actual illustration and coloring is really good. Like, I don't want to shit on Sara Pichelli or Justin Ponsor, because I think they did really good jobs. The coloring is really good. The illustrations is really good. Like, I really like the art. It's just the writing is just so damn terrible. But that's issue 1. Next issue I will probably be doing will be Gwenpool, Edge of the Venomverse 2. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if I want to read issue 2 of Spider-Man 2. You know what? I might. I usually like to give series like a couple of issues before I give up on them. But let's say I'm not looking forward to reading it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me what you guys think. Is there anything else you guys would recommend? It can any comic books you guys want. I'll check it out. Whether it's like really good and you want me to talk about, or if you just want me to just like read like a shitty comic like America Chavez or She-Hulk and just have me rant on that so you guys can basically hate watch it, I'll do that too. But yeah, I'm open to pretty much anything. But if there's anything you guys want me to read, just let me know. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.